IVM.
Sports are the most important thing in the world, especially if your shirt cannot be cleaned. But in the meantime, if it can, turn to the Fan Garage, also known as FG. Say it together quickly with me. Fug. Fan Garage. All that you want to know about sports, especially cricket and football. Is there another sport? New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Cock and Bull, we take a look at the world through the eyes of Anupam Gupta and Amit Doshi. And they sit on each other's laps for the first time in our show, Cock and Bull.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Okay, here on Cyrus Says, I've had it with the weddings. I got to tell you, this concept has to end. You invite us, then we have to give you something. If you really want me, then why do I have to give you something? I don't understand that. And why do we have to give you an isab? Like if I take 4 people from my family, it has to be like $800 per head. I don't get that at all. I don't want to do this anymore. We have to stop this as Indians. You call us, we don't give you anything. Because you want us there. Who the hell cares whether your daughter married that ugly man from Delhi? It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Okay, it's Cock and Bull time here. Cyrus Says becomes Cock and Bull. It's like, those old-time actors who change their name. Yes. The real name is Manu Prasad Iyer, and then he suddenly becomes Rocky. It's like that. So this is our avatar of highness, sophistication, etc., etc. And we have 2 special guests with us.
This is the most hyper-sophisticated show we do.
I think so.
Yes,
I set standards that even I can't follow.
Yeah.
Amit Doshi, we're joined by this gentleman who is, how do we describe him?
Financial whiz.
I'd like to call myself just basically time pass muft ka gyan.
Wo to mere paas hai. You can't. What the hell, yaar?
Let me say this part first, right? Okay. Anupam Gupta, the host of our great, fantastic, phenomenal show Paisa Vaisa, which I think everybody should download
so
immediately.
You only want to promote the show, never the guy.
Well, I mean, I want to promote Anupam Gupta as well. Okay,
because of the show.
Because of the show. Oh, okay, you know what? Follow Anupam at B50 on Twitter. That's the other thing that I think you can do. And I think he has a blog called Bombay Addict. Is that right?
Those were the days. Now I move mainly on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
You're like that old school blogging in 2005.
Sir, when you have 50 million followers, then you have to stay with one medium. You can't have 10 or 15.
If I divide that by 1 million also, I don't know how much I'll get, but any which way, okay.
Alright, let's start with topics.
Sure.
Anupam, I don't know if you've been on this show before, I don't think you have.
Okay.
But this is a fantastic show.
I'm sure it is.
Because we have about 30, we researched it thoroughly, and we have about 30 topics, and we will decide on the spot which to keep, which to, get rid of.
Okay.
And all the pressure's on Amit. I have no idea what the topics are. Amit, what do we start with?
Let's talk about the first and most important thing of the day, right? I mean, or the most important thing of the week, which is...
Markets are crashing, okay.
No, that's the second most important thing. The most important thing is that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
India's greatest and most popular sport.
Yes.
NFL.
Yes.
Which did not even show on television.
National Fertilizer Limited, no?
Something like that.
That sounds
Same rules apply, by the way. and both parties are not taxed on their income.
Okay.
But, so it was great. Philadelphia Eagles won. I mean, first time.
Okay, for Indians, in layman terms, or we have non-Indian listeners as well. We are not racist by any standard. Just put it in a nutshell.
A team which has been consistently good over the last 30 years, but never been able to make it all the way to the end. Finally was able to climb over the mountaintop. And
against a more fancy team, the Tom Brady team.
Yes, the Tom Brady team. Tom Brady is considered the greatest of all time.
So they say.
Yes, I put out funny, one of the things that I retweeted about this, which was really funny, I thought, was there all these YouTube videos of eagles hunting goats, and Tom Brady is considered the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought, a funny thing. You get to see...
Well, that's a bit unfair because Tom Brady played the match of his life.
He played great. He played amazing.
And still they lost.
Yeah.
They still lost.
So in cricket terms, he explained it to me, for those listening as well.
And me
it's
too,
like India scoring 4
don't...
centuries and still in a match and still ending up on the losing side.
Yeah,
wow.
It is.
Okay.
The game he had is like unprecedented. Most yards ever in a Super Bowl, and still 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. They did not punt the ball, and considering that, the fact that they still lost is amazing. And you know what makes it?
Anupam, you're familiar with punt the ball, yeah? We will explain it in 10 seconds.
Hitting a 6, I guess, right?
Yeah,
no, I mean, we use the word punt over here as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, punt means to just basically pass something on, right? To kind of take to kind of try and push it down the road kind of thing. I mean, like, we use that word, don't we?
Yeah, we use punt as a bet.
Stock market is all about punting.
About punting,
All right. Yeah, so I think punt
and in the South, they say if you want to go somewhere, they punt that way.
Okay, now I got it.
But you know what makes all of this even greater, all of this makes it even more better, is when Donald Trump congratulated the Eagles.
Now, this is where we come in.
The Super Bowl.
Okay.
He
That's
tweeted,
interesting.
"Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles on a great Super Bowl."
Okay.
From the official Twitter account of the Philadelphia Eagles, they replied, "Go fuck yourself."
Whoa.
Wow.
And that's legit.
I
That's a
believe you-
verified
you know,
account. That's,
So
that's
it
actually
is a verified account, but
And-
I'm seeing this on Facebook, so I think it's legit, but I'm not 100% sure it's legit.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's very possible it's true as far as athletes go across the board in America. He seems to be losing popularity left, right, and center.
Well,
That he
except
does,
for
yeah.
Tom Brady, who seems to be a friend of his.
Yeah, well, but it's because Tom Brady's been invited to the White House a couple of times. So it's a little difficult after
No,
that.
but Tom Brady's also so Tom Brady used to have a "Make America Great Again" hat in his locker behind.
During
so
the campaign?
No, yeah, during the campaign. So when people would be like basically doing his post-game interviews and stuff like that, in the background he'd have like a low-key "Make America Great" hat again.
So he's been a supporter from day
He's
one.
been a supporter from day one.
Okay.
Robert Kraft, who is the owner of the New England Patriots, he has been a supporter of Donald Trump, the
okay.
big-time supporter of Donald Trump.
Okay.
He gave him $1 million donation for the inauguration, which was supposedly the biggest inauguration ever.
Wow.
So that one, Kraft supported him with that. Bill Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, is a great friend of his, and he has Donald Trump consistently boasts about all the letters he receives from Patriots.
So in football terms, does that make Tom Brady a right winger?
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, no, first question. I never thought that this would get a liberal Democrat kind of swing to it.
There's politics in sports, brother. That you can't change it.
Yeah, it's all this, right?
Did you know Virat Kohli invited the Prime Minister to his wedding? But not me.
Outrage.
But
Well, what do you think happens when a big head of state is invited? Do they give what we Gujaratis
all right,
call in Gujarati we call Piramni?
I gotta make the correction. It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Okay.
It's a Facebook. It's a Facebook.
This is our producer Naveen who has to take the blow for that.
Yes.
But anyway.
He has announced his resignation.
Quickly, guys, before we go to the next story. So when the head of state attends a wedding function, does he give Piramni? Does he give a present? What does he give?
Sorry.
He does. I'm guessing that he does, right?
Like what? Like normally you give 1,001 rupees. Does he give 1,001 rupees?
Amazon ka voucher hoga na kuch aisa.
Amazon ka voucher.
Something like that, yeah?
That's true. All right.
He likes digital, right? So he would go for that.
Or a grant for the academy that will be made post-retirement.
Yeah, I guess.
That's compulsory for sportsmen in India. You have to start your own academy unless you're finished.
Well, I think they all do everywhere.
That's
That's what they do. They
But
start
you need
academy.
land, and land comes from the government. That's how it works.
Correct. Yeah.
That is true. That's why you do it.
That's a gift to give.
All right, next.
Next, let's get into budget.
Budget 2018, folks.
Sarji,
Not as exciting as the Super
30
Bowl.
seconds. But similar touchdowns happened. Let's find out. I have to pay 10% more on mutual funds, so I'm out. I'm going back. Go back to black has been my slogan. Me and Chidambaram, we've been shouting from the rooftops. Go back to black. Get your black money and have a good life. Well, white money has just got too many issues and too many taxation instruments around it. But let's go to the expert.
Well, actually, today the markets are down some 2-3%.
Today as we record.
As we record, and the previous 2 days that have happened. So a lot of people are saying कि gain ही नहीं रहा तो क्या tax भरने का? They're all very happy about that. There's no gain, so there's no tax. No, but seriously,
So
okay.
for the first time we are celebrating loss. Thank God for loss. So we don't have to give more money on the table.
It depends when you bought, but yeah, I mean basically that. But see, here's the thing, right? This was expected. There was no way that this would not come. I think so. That's. I'm very sure the markets were expecting this to happen. That it happened, came and went is absolutely fine. And the way that it's been done in the budget also is quite, I would say, it's quite good, right?
Yeah. So a couple of specifics I wanted to ask you. I think about 25,000 crores was allocated for fuel, for oil.
Okay.
That was the same amount as last year. But there's been a 33% increment in oil and fuel prices across the world. So we can't have the same amount of money now because we're now only getting 2/3 of what we could get last year with the same amount of money.
No, even I'm confused with that math, but no, yeah. So I don't know if you're
I
talking
think
about.
it's more about they create a reserve, right? It's not so much about how much.
It's not trickling down to us, no, brother. You had about 5 surcharges in the last 6 months.
Yeah, wait. So oil prices, there's no subsidy on oil prices anymore, right? Because today, when you buy petrol, diesel from the petrol pump, you're as close to international prices today as compared to say 4-5 years ago when there used to be subsidy. Right now, what this government has done, good or bad, whatever it is, that when prices were going down, they didn't pass on that benefit to us. They increased the taxes.
That's what.
And now when fuel prices are going up, they're not hiking the prices again. They're cutting the duty so that we don't feel that impact as much as we should. So that's one way of that's their way of dealing with it. Now, they can only do it to some extent. Okay, the finance minister has gone on record to say that until crude prices are about 70, we are pretty happy there. Okay, so so it's okay on that front. The real oil and gas subsidy that's actually still there in the market goes for stuff like LPG, goes for stuff like kerosene. That's still there, right? Because that affects a poorer part of the population who can't deal that well with crude prices. So that must be that I'm guessing is
both Amit and I drive LPG cars. To be honest.
Oh,
yeah, I'm always in an LPG car.
Yeah, it's called Uber. But
Yeah,
you'll feel the pinch from the fare hike, I guess, if at all it happens. So that's
all right. Salient features in a nutshell.
Which one, sorry?
Salient features. When we don't know what to say, we say salient features. Do you remember your salient book? Salient features. I never understood what salient was for all 10 years of studying.
Well, it's, 3-4 things, right? So the first thing that comes to my mind is the universal health. No, okay, not universal healthcare, but the national healthcare. People are calling Modi care and all that.
but that's like bullshit, isn't it? I mean, like I was
I don't
reading.
think so. Let me put it this way.
Sorry, go on.
So I think the intent was good. Okay, which, you need this.
Right.
There's no doubt that you need this.
Right.
We're talking about 10 crore household,
I
50
agree
crore
with that.
families. Okay, hold on. Okay. The execution and all is still grey. I agree with you on that. We don't know, how much it will cost. They're talking about 20,000 crores. Whether that's the accurate number or not, whether our hospital system can absorb that, okay, is another thing altogether. Do we have the number of beds? Do we have the number of doctors? What is the quality of our healthcare? Logically, I would go with you if you say that why don't we first start doing system, first fix the system and then do this. But this is India. Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Fix the system. I don't think of anything should be a maximalist kind of this, that, don't do anything unless you have everything in place, right? I don't believe in that. I believe that you got to make incremental changes. Yeah. Having said that, Vivek Kaul, he's a financial
Of course,
writer.
we know Vivek Kaul is, yeah.
He is a regular guest on one of our other podcasts, Seen and the Unseen, which you guys should also check out if you're not checking out. But okay, Vivek made this, he wrote this column for Pragati where he was talking about that based on just premium numbers, right? Just premium numbers, this is a 2 lakh crore rupee expenditure.
Yeah, but you need to see.
They've not even allocated 2,000 for it.
Which I think the number is about 20,000 times. The allocation part is still to be
right.
See,
he's talking about the judgment of what you're trying to do vis-a-vis the process of how it will be done.
They announced the same thing 2 years ago, but that time it was 2 lakh.
But look, we've got government
hospitals.
We've got lovely government hospitals. If you're below certain economic status, I mean, Nair, for example, you go there to meet your relative, you get sucked in by an MRI, and you die. So, I mean, there's so much good stuff happening.
Yeah, I know. That's a short.
What a lovely story that is. So heartwarming. He goes to meet his uncle or something, and next thing he knows, he's sucked in an MRI. How do you explain that to a foreigner?
I mean,
you don't explain.
And they took off his rings. They asked him his rings, his watch, and all the other metallic things, and then gave him the oxygen cylinder.
Yeah, imagine. And the CCTV says that no one is at fault. How do you carry an oxygen cylinder? I have no idea.
How is that nobody at fault? The oxygen cylinder went into that room.
That's fact.
There's no patient on earth whose relative will pick up an oxygen cylinder and walk around. It makes no sense.
Yes. I have done MRI, so I know what that spooky experience
is. It is a scary place.
It is damn scary. Yeah,
don't you feel when you go under that thing that, God, something could go wrong?
I have never been able to go into one. I've tried with the back issues and stuff. Never been able to do it.
Seriously?
Yeah, man.
So we don't know how he's functioning. Science can't tell.
Yeah, it's scary.
But apparently there's a new open MRI around.
I think they should change it.
Not as effective as. I asked my physio and he's like, okay, I know it's there in Bombay, but the readings are off. You want them close to a closed one.
Does it have that strong magnetic field or not?
Well, it's open, right? So whether it makes noise or not is fine. The spookiest part of an MRI is going into that entire tunnel, which is like,
So I mean, like, if the claustrophobia is not there, then I don't mind lying down for like an hour. Right? This thing is at my face.
They equate that feeling that you have in the MRI to your 23rd year of marriage. It's that suffocating.
I've still to reach that.
Yeah, so we won't understand. We won't understand.
Okay.
One enough on the budget?
I think so.
You just did healthcare, I
what
thought you were
going
to do LT.
Tell us, man. We don't know the budget. You know the budget.
So I started off with the healthcare. You could, argue, and I'm sure Vivek's got a fantastic point about that, about the nitty-gritty, the details and stuff like that. But I think that at least the intent is that he's made an announcement, politicize it as much as you want. He's got election coming up. See, he had to address agri, which he's done. Okay. The agri sector is not in a good state at all. Okay. So with the hike in minimum support prices, whatever.
And then when it's compulsory for every finance minister to say agriculture zindabad, we have to do something for our farmers, we all love you, and it continues to be in bad shape.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So you had agri, you had healthcare. So those two things were addressed.
But I mean, like, again, you're talking about supply price, right? I mean, like, that is what they increased over here, right? I mean, like the
procurement price.
The procurement price, right? Isn't the fundamental problem with agriculture the fact that they're forced into selling into these places? Isn't that like the main problem?
Why?
That's what my understanding of it.
So he's saying they're targeting the wrong end in layman's terms. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, you have to, if you're, you don't have the same degree of freedom to sell wherever you want to, right? If you're a farmer.
Again, the whole thing about system,
in the retail market and beyond, they get screwed is what I think Amit is trying to say.
Yeah, but see, you don't expect the budget to fix those systemic things, okay?
Right.
Because that can be done outside the budget, and that depends government to government what their commitment is. It took such a long time for the subsidy system to go away.
Right.
Imagine it's taken such a long time for direct benefit transfer to come in. Okay, it's a country of 130 crore people. These things, to me, are beyond Congress, beyond BJP.
Right.
These things, and agri income is again tax free, and who wants to mess around with that big kind of a populace? So I don't know. This argument can go on and on, but fixing the system rather than doing this kind of tinkering. Let's hope that the next government...
we do need a healthcare plan, like you said, from a social point of view, I don't know, humanist point of view, I suppose. You do have to have such a huge country. You think of people who cannot afford. I mean, people we work with in urban centers, people work for us. Some of the income is 10 grand, 15 grand. I when I see my relatives inside, I'm thinking, how the hell do they manage?
Exactly.
How the hell do they manage? They can't have a 40-day stay for their mother. There's no way.
That's what I'm talking about.
Even insurance is so freaking expensive, man. I just got my renewal done and it was like, it pinched, man.
So what happens to the less common man? Since we are common men, the less common man ka kya hota?
That's what I'm talking about. They need that umbrella, they need that safety net. 5 lakhs a year is a decent amount. I think 5 lakhs a year
is a fighting chance, but I'm just thinking 30-40 days in and people literally say, I hope she goes.
No,
but that does become a calculation in some places, right? I mean, like...
Of course it becomes, Amit. It's a real life.
Of course it does.
Love and emotion is all great, but real life is roti and all this. So what are you going to do on a daily basis?
So I don't know if you guys have been to a healthcare center or somewhere to do your blood tests and all.
Won't go because of that MRI fiasco.
I've done everything other than MRI multiple times.
So you will see these stickers put up these days about financing your medical expenses. So there are private sector companies which are willing to give you loans for that. So but that's again not for the poor people.
There you go. They won't even entertain them.
Yeah, there you go. So two things. Okay, I spoke about the healthcare and I spoke about agri. Okay, now moving on to what will go up. One is obviously LTCG, the long-term capital gain, but honestly, I don't know how many people really invest in the market. So I'll leave that aside for now. I'll explain it in a bit. Customs duty has gone up, so your smartphones will become more expensive. But the thing that's going to become... Everything's going to become expensive because your cess has gone up from 3% to 4%. Not many people really... One. So that affects...
Everything.
My guess is everything. There you go. So that has gone up. But then it's been a tough year for the government. Spectrum and other stuff didn't really work out for them. So this was coming.
So they made bad investments, so I should suffer.
Essentially,
that's called part of...
And they're not disinvesting from things they should do. So
this was a bumper year for disinvestment, by the way. Okay, was it? Bumper year for disinvestment. They did like some crazy number. So
coming back to now, my personal problems. Mutual funds are my best friends. All right, best friends of many people in our
mutual funds.
Economic class. Exactly. And all those ads are about tax free. And now you're going to give me 10% tax and kill it completely.
Tough luck. So you have a few options, right?
What?
Sell everything till March. No. Sell everything till 31st March. You won't have to pay a single rupee of tax, okay? And then buy it again if at all the markets are falling also. Okay, but jokes apart. Live with it.
Would you still take the mutual fund because the taxation is only 10%?
I'm doing it for myself.
No, I'm saying going forward.
Yeah, even going forward. I'm not stopping a single one of my SIPs.
You'll continue with the same SIP Zindabad.
And I will probably increase it in the future whenever I feel that...
But there's a chance he'll increase the tax again now.
Not chance. He is going to increase it. Here's the thing. He is. So then, that's the part where I have a problem because the statements he's made in the press are fruitier. The kind of stuff that's coming out is mad. The guy is going around saying that capital gains are effort, kuch usme, that they don't require any effort. So we'll keep
my question to that, then the single most important question I have to that is, so capital gains don't require effort, so you're going to basically tax. So what happens when capital loss happens? Is the government going to give me a refund on this?
Exactly. It should cut both ways, brother.
No, exactly.
Let's wait for that.
No, I mean, like if there's a capital loss, am I going to get a tax credit?
No, this is really like a...
To address that, I think that your long-term capital losses are going to be, you can carry them forward to set off against any gain that you have led. I mean, it's the principle of equity.
It's a question of citizen majburi because you don't have a choice. You might as well stay with the new extra tax on your mutual funds as against any other instrument which is still not going to give you anything.
So you're looking at an asset that, that goes up. If you're doing a 10-year thing,
it just goes up less.
No. I'm talking about equities, right? You're investing in the mutual fund because you say that you want to be there for 10 years, 15 years, whatever. So the rate of growth of equities typically is a little bit higher than what you get in the fixed deposit or real estate or gold or even in a debt mutual fund.
But the tax is going to go up at what rate after that per year?
Yes. You're right.
Tax is applicable also to the stock market and stuff, no? Even
that's what now.
Yeah, so
go back to black. इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ top of the show, go back to black.
अपना बिस्तर के अंदर नोट रखो मस्त बड़ा ऐसा.
जुन्ना नोट भी चलेगा. In case Congress comes back, they'll repeal the new notes.
My God.
I think we need to take a break. Naveen just told me you're talking too much, guys. Not too much.
Oh, okay.
Budget your talk a little bit.
Take a break. Okay.
Shunyavan.
$1 billion acquisition. Another copycat startup got formed.
No, the tech world in India is surely moving double the speed of this voiceover.
Tune in to Shunya One every Tuesday to catch us talking to the smartest people we know on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
From the Gupta dynasty, 4,000 years later, maybe 2,000, maybe 1,500, we have Anupam.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But he has no kingdom. All he has is the pain of this budget 2018. I'm sure you've done this in your other show, and I'm sure you've done it with your friends who'll irritate you and your followers. Ranking this budget 2018, what marks would you give it?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I would probably put it at a 6 out of 10. Because these budgets are just such media dramas any which way.
What you're saying is no one can really give you a good budget. It's just too difficult to please everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there are too many people to take care of. You will always leave somebody pissed off. There is no way on God's earth that you can have a budget. Those are the 90s, when you had the dream budget and all of that stuff. But I don't think any government right now can take that kind of risk. 6 out of 10 max. That's it.
All right, let's move on from the budget. We have a couple more topics, Mr. Amit Doshi.
Do we have any more topics?
Of course we do. The Karni Sena has withdrawn the agitation and said that Rajasthan and Gujarat should show the film.
Oh, wow.
They said they've seen the film. It's a very supportive film of their culture, and they're very happy. And they want Deepika Padukone in the sequel. When she comes out of the fire and regains her life.
Oh my, that looks like a Marvel superhero movie or something. I saw the movie, by the way. I saw it last Monday. I thought it was good. The usual spectacle stuff. And I'm saying the bada budget hai, dikh raha hai, and great dances, great sets, great. Ranveer Singh's a madman in that, which is fine. Where he probably carries the entire movie. Shahid Kapoor is a chump because he's supposed to be a chump. And Deepika carries the entire movie herself. Although, what's the big deal? It's just a movie.
Do they glorify Johar? There's a 12-minute end sequence. Veena is playing in the background and she walks to the pyre.
Slow motion.
Slow motion, yeah. Highlight like the old cricket matches in the 90s. Let's watch Srinath once again. Right arm over the wicket and watch as the ball pitches outside off stump and she's burnt to death.
Yeah, that part sucks. But
then my point here is, who are we to judge? He makes a film. If I make a film on Adolf Hitler, that's my film. You don't watch it. If my perspective is that he was a great guy, which it never will be, that's what art is all about.
My thought
and I think if you look at Sanjay Leela Bhansali and the way he makes films, it's more about human conflict. He's more interested in that. And the dynamics between human beings. The fact that they're Rajput, Muslim, Afghan, whatever, these are just secondary issues.
Exactly.
The first issue is the dynamics between all these different people. Faithfulness, unfaithfulness, honor, dishonor, love, lust, essence.
That's what it's about. I mean, you see all his movies, whether you look at Bajirao Mastani, whether you look at Devdas, and there was that the love story that he did again with this Ranveer.
No, that's his own love story. Sanjay Leela Bhansali.
Okay.
Ramleela. Savarya, no?
Savarya was a bit of a mistake.
That was 2008, the one which came with Om Shanti Om.
That was the Ranveer Kapoor first
where
movie.
Only the towel is remembered.
Then he made that also, no? The Rani Mukherjee movie with Amitabh Bachchan.
Black.
That was a big hit.
I think he needs to rethink his entire history lessons in life, and whether that kind of stuff sells now, whether he might want to look at...
The film is done very well, but the point is, look at the anxiety the poor guy went through. I feel terrible for him. At the end of the day, he's a filmmaker, good or bad. At the end of the day, he has a colourful canvas, blah, blah. The point is, he's just a filmmaker, he's not a common criminal, and you treated him like a common criminal. You made him, and the responsibility of everybody else is on his head.
Yes.
If they attack Deepika or some technician or some cameraman, it's all on his head.
Imagine. That's what I'm talking about.
Amit Doshi lives with this fear every day because of your podcast. Yes, Mr. Gupta, your podcast is very dangerous.
My podcast is
we've got the Paisa Sena coming after you. Paisa वापस
मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है बाबा मैं क्या तुमको पैसा देगा and all that.
This is what the government says. That's how they explain capital gains. पैसा नहीं है.
No effort at all.
There you go. And another topic that we must discuss is the under-19 victory in
This
New
is a
Zealand.
sports show, man.
It's a sports show. But the thing is, you went on about your NFL.
Yeah.
But your India won a World Cup.
I only gave
and won a World Cup in a canter.
I could go on for like another half
So
an
could
hour
I.
about that.
India won every single match by 100 runs, 8 wickets, 9 wickets, 200 runs. I mean, it's a fantastic performance. I don't know what to say. I'm mind-boggled. I watched a lot of the games.
This was the one where Rahul Dravid was the coach.
Rahul Dravid is the coach.
Yeah.
And these boys were fantastic. Prithvi Shaw, he looks like he's like 5 foot tall, but he was fantastic. Shubham Gill, this new boy, he's going to be the face of Indian cricket in 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, great. The Nagar Koti, one bowler, Mahi, all bowling 145 plus. Very, very
The interesting
interesting.
part to me is these guys are coming from small town India. I can't imagine the effect that sports is having across the
Small
country.
town India, and more importantly, they are under 19.
Yeah, there you go.
Some of the other
Yeah.
teams weren't.
Yeah.
I saw this guy with a big beard. He had 2 kids.
Yeah.
He was right arm over the wicket. He was like, beta, and then he would turn and bowl.
Pakistani?
I won't get into that.
Okay, we don't want our studios to be stoned.
Listen, we have a lot of Pakistan fans.
No, but I mean, like, listen, there are certain places of the world where they have the tendency to do this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the Dominican Republic, when they send baseball players to America, they pretend they're 14, 15 years old. They're actually 17, 18 years old. This is something that happens pretty regularly.
This is, and and
basketball also, this has become a little bit of a controversy. Players from Africa, right? Players who have come from Africa. So there's this guy called Serge Ibaka. He is a player right now for the Toronto Raptors. And there are all these controversies going around about what his actual age is. Because in basketball, there's a very clear correlation that once you get over 32, your performance falls off a cliff.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, he is officially 29 years old.
Okay.
But everybody keeps passing these rumors that he's 32. And because of that, he's not getting a contract. He's not getting he's not getting like he is a superstar player, but he's not getting a massive contract because of this. So I mean, there are segments
The clue that you get about all this is if the same player plays 3 under-19 World Cups in a row, then you sort of know that he's perhaps 20, at some point.
This stuff is normal, believe me. There are, you're talking about World Cup cricket, but even at a low level out here, like you've got kids who go for swimming contests and all that, all are under 8, under 10, under 6.
Full chest hair, under 11.
There you
Kiran,
go.
Aja, beta.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, full chest hair,
All
jawline,
normal,
everything.
yeah.
And the other kids all look like 12. Very sad.
So this stuff is normal. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've got enough. This program
I think
is
that's
very
good.
long.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amitabh, for being here.
Amitabh,
Anupam.
okay. No, that's fine. I can take that name.
But
That's
Amitabh is
fine.
like a,
He was pissed off with his number of followers going down because Twitter
Oh,
ने
we should
बोला
discuss
था I'm
that,
going to
yeah.
quit Twitter because मेरा number of followers. I'm like, dude, तुम्हारा साला 20 lakh follower है.
35 million to 33 million.
What do you think of all of this controversy coming out right now about the fake follower stuff?
I-
We've all known that
we've
this
all
has
known
existed,
that.
right?
Yeah,
We've all known that this
that.
existed.
This is how the shit works. Yeah.
But apparently there was a big New York Times article about this stuff, right? There was this company that is basically promoting followers, and they named names of some of these big guys, right? So Ray Lewis was one of them.
The comedian.
No, Ray Lewis is a football player, NFL football player.
Also a comedian.
But he was there. Then there was a journalist who basically Richard Roper, the guy who was the movie critic. So he had apparently half of his followers were from this
but
company.
that's
so he had
normal,
to close that Twitter account and start a new Twitter account because his
How can America point fingers at fake? Silicon came from America. Oh, what the hell? Pamela Anderson is okay, Canadian. You're right.
Pam Anderson, man, you're such a 90s kid.
I love Pam Anderson.
Of course.
Even the way she looks right now.
I would have, said something if you had mentioned Samantha Fox, okay? But
Oh,
let's see now.
On those happy notes.
Very happy.
On those happy notes. All right, let's move on. We have the AMAs.
We have the AMAs.
Hey friend, so if you're listening to a podcast right now, you're probably some kind of a nerd at heart at least. So maybe, just maybe, you might like another podcast about nerds, by nerds, and for nerds.
It's called Geek Fruit, a community to unite estranged geeks from across India and later on the world. We talk about television, movies, science fiction, adventure, fantasy, etc. Anything nerdy, it's all here on Geek Fruit. You can catch a fresh episode every Monday,
and you can check us out on any of your favorite podcast apps, like my favorite podcast app, the IVM podcast app. Give me my money, IVM.
Good plug.
Happy listening, you nerds.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Alrighty, AMA time with the two heavyweights of India. And I mean heavyweights. Amit, Doshi, and Naveen.
Yeah, I'm 4 kilos lighter now.
Naveen, what's your surname?
Narona.
I knew that. I was checking if you knew that.
Yes.
And you know that. You passed the test. Amit.
All right, first question is, what do you think of FIA getting rid of grid girls for the Formula 1 races? Are we going too far with our extreme feminism and away going to the other end of the extreme? This is from Anuj.
I'm really worried about when we try to make it a more egalitarian society and they have grid boys. I know, Naveen, it appeals to you. But I'm like, hey, not to sound like a reverse sexist, but that would just be like, no. I remember Pakistan Super League having male cheerleaders. I was like, why? And everybody was asking why, both men and women. So some things, you got to take the sexism out of it and understand that women are just prettier.
No, I think it's about grace and elegance. Gender doesn't matter. You can be a cheer boy or a cheer girl. I don't think it's...
I find elegant men awful, to be frank.
I find
It's an awful
cheerleading
idea.
as a concept awful. I don't think it makes sense either for male or for female or for anything.
No, so because you were talking about football, right? Like it's a whole new custom over there in terms of like they form pyramids and they do stunts and everything.
What? It's a proper job.
Yeah, exactly.
They work all year round.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about. Like,
I wanted to be a
standing and
cheerleader
looking
when I
pretty.
was young.
It's not about looking pretty. They have to do stunts which are very dangerous.
There's no ugly cheerleader. But let's be honest. Let's be open
listen,
here.
I mean, like
You can't be a cheerleader who looks like
if you
incredible
are a
Hulk.
professional sports cheerleader in America, you're essentially a very, very poorly paid dancer.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what
And
it
you're
is.
pretty.
Yeah, you're
so
hot.
that's what
Yeah.
it's twofold, right? It's the fact that you have to have these skills to become a cheerleader, but also you want to have.
You've got to have the ability to hold a pom-pom and rotate it without moving your face at the same time and throw it up in the air and catch it. These are things which not everyone can do.
But it really depends
It's for the people also in the air.
It depends on sport to sport, right? What you're talking about happens more in college sports. And college sports cheerleading is a more serious thing.
Yeah.
There is a male and female team combined who basically they
and
do a lot
also
of
their
stunts.
identity. One of their identities is cheerleader.
No, and it's more gymnastics. It actually is competitive in college. When you get into like pro sports and stuff like that, it is just basically we want hot chicks around so that people are watching, even when we're giving them like eye candy.
Formula 1 is a much easier gig. Let's face it. Not the racing, but for the girls on site rather. Not that much work involved. Just look pretty and walk around and hold things.
I don't think that there's any difference between all of the other stuff as well. Basically, they're dancers. I mean, once you get into other pro sports, you look at the NBA.
Yeah,
they're basically dancers.
We're not answering his question. He wants to know, the question is...
Feminism's gone too far.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it has.
Like cancelling them.
I really don't. I think that...
you don't like them?
Huh?
You don't like the cheerleaders?
I feel that it is...
You hate women?
No, I love
You
women.
hate pretty women?
I love
You hate
pretty
young
women.
girls?
I love young women.
You hate girls in skirts? You like Scottish men? What?
You're basically saying most of the stuff that I like except for that last one.
The Scottish men?
Yeah.
Hey, hello, Naveen, stand up for...
Kilts. Culturally appropriate. But
Kilt
I think the problem if you're watching the game for a cheerleader, then you're watching F1 for the wrong reasons.
You're not watching
Hey, come on, stop talking. You sound like a right-winger now.
Why?
It's a sport going on and there's some pretty girls around it. What's the big deal?
What I'm trying to get to
we're
is...
taking this too far.
No, so if you see movies like Torque or Fast and the Furious and all these movies...
Listen to what Sophia Loren said. We're taking it too far. She herself said, listen, please understand, we've got to find the middle ground here.
I'm trying to make a point here.
No, but it's sexism.
Can I make a point?
But the philosophy is larger than your point. But show me your point. Go on.
So in all these movies that I'm talking about, where cars and male testosterone is all over the place, the female is just like cornered to being that person who drops the hanky or holds a placard for the drivers. So the whole point is that we have to go beyond that and stop looking at pretty women as a token at any of our games or any of our matches.
Objectification object.
Yeah. So if you're okay with women doing that, then we should have men also doing it.
So I'll tell you what,
okay with that.
I have a problem with this stuff. It's not so much with sports cheerleading, right? Sports cheerleading is fine in its own way. But I feel like it is a corollary to the booth pape thing that happens at a lot of tech conferences and stuff like that. That's the stuff which I find actually really kind of...
we have a quiz show with a woman who just comes and holds a dial in her hand.
Yeah.
So come on. I just don't take it so far, man. Well, let's ask the women who are working in F1. Are they happy with their jobs? Do they feel objectified?
I'm sure they feel objectified. I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
but
happy
in
doing
a
it as
good
well.
way sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're okay with doing it as well because,
I think we're taking this right-wing sexism way too far. I'm getting very scared. It's become very masculine, the sexism, very aggressive, very testosterone-driven. And with every little thing we do, we're going to watch our backs and say, let's equalize, so let's have a male cheerleader immediately. I mean, what the hell? It's going to be like a Mandal Commission.
No, but I don't
we'll have 50% reservation for cheerleaders because male cheerleaders also are a lobby.
I don't think that you should have male cheerleaders. I don't think you should have female cheerleaders. I just think cheerleaders...
But I agree with who's the guy who written in? Anuj, I agree with you totally. I think we're taking it too far. Just too far, man. Too far. Just a sport. There's some girls hanging around it. They're pretty. Yeah, so what? Leave it. There are bigger issues in the world. Like friggin' motorbikes.
Yeah.
Cutting the lanes.
All right.
Them being pretty should not be the excuse what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people who even go for like air steward jobs saying the same thing, because like she's doing that because she's pretty, she doesn't have any other qualifications, So stuff like that is what I'm trying to bring out.
It's a very good job. They get very well paid. They see the world. What are you crying about?
I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying people have this notion that a pretty face is what gets you the job, or vice versa.
Oh, God. Our need to be egalitarian and equalize the entire world and level the playing field, we are going to go berserk, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Next question, please. I'm dying.
All right. Will the government in its union budget this year announce tax slabs based on what kind of pakoras you're selling to determine your income? For example, 10% for pyaz pakoda, 20% for bread pakoda, and 30% for paneer pakoda.
I think Sri Chidambaram's point was well made in the sense that he was trying to say what the hell great job does the pagoda wala have.
Yeah.
In the sense that he's not an engineer or a doctor or a young entrepreneur or a startup. But it sounds elitist and was, just sounded wrong in the country that we live in. But the philosophy is not completely wrong.
I think it's completely wrong.
I think he was going for chai wala, but then settled.
I don't think any job is better than no job. The job has to have some validity and you have to have some vision and growth and you have to feel some sense of prosperity and self-esteem and self-value should happen. You can't just have any job.
I agree, but like somebody who decides that they want to sell pakoras, who decides that, okay, I'm going to make money doing this, somebody who has spent the time to basically put together this stuff, put together a tela, get the oil, get the vegetables, get the this, and then decide that, okay, I'm going to sell this at a profit.
Looking at pakoda specifically, I'm saying avoid the specifics.
I'm not looking at this
and look at the fact that at the bottom rung, some of the jobs are not that appealing.
I do not deny that, but this is not denigrating jobs per se. There are many degrading jobs, and I would not say that degrading jobs are a good thing.
Podcast for one.
Exactly, extremely degrading, right?
Are you telling me?
Yeah. But degrading job is one thing, and dissing entrepreneurship or basically putting down entrepreneurship is another thing, right? Entrepreneurship happens at all levels.
He's actually dissing the government and saying that, hey, what have you created? You've not created, we don't have 10,000 more engineers, 40,000 more startups, and 50,000.
I am not a supporter of the economic policies of this government. This government is as bad as any government we've ever had. I'm just trying to be devil's
advocate for Chidambaram, who himself is a high-flying lawyer. But, at times like this, he needs a lawyer. I'm just trying to say that, again, we're looking too much into the specific issue. It's a point you're trying to make. It's like a metaphor.
And the metaphor is attacking entrepreneurism, which is my problem. You're attacking small scale entrepreneurism. You're basically
looking at it from a point of view of success, quantifying what you're doing. From a point of view of quantification, you look at it and say, okay, how well are you doing by providing 5 jobs, very low income jobs? You've not really created a great. That's the point. It's not more than that.
How this all stuff grows, right? All of it happens through. If somebody is a pakoda wala today, he'll have 4 thelas tomorrow, and that 4 thelas will become a small restaurant the day after that. How does this stuff happen? It doesn't happen from
your point is well taken. I accept it, and it's fine. But I'm saying his point is only that much, not more. But you are right.
Okay.
But his point is just that.
I don't think he meant to attack entrepreneurs in general.
See, it sounded elitist and stupid. Because we live in a country with this disparity of income, so everything sounds snobbish and elitist when you say something like that. But the point is, what have you created in terms of wide variety of jobs? Don't tell me about this one pagoda wala or one sing wala. Not to put them down, but just to say that there should be more.
Campaign promises is a common thing between politics.
And again, I'm not.
But how well we balance it in the podcast, huh?
Yeah,
I've taken Congress side, he's taken BJP.
We
made sure
sometimes it can happen,
happy.
Right?
What are you're with the left, Naveen?
I think all the people who are not getting pretty jobs, they can come to do podcasting because we
have a face to
between the pagoda wala and the podcaster, the pagoda wala will make more money. Let's be honest.
All right. Okay, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Somebody has asked an extremely serious question.
Oh, Christ.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, and it's like a serious question. Hello, Cyrus and team. This time I have a very serious question for Cyrus. Even she says it's serious.
Oh, God.
I wanted to ask him, did he ever feel incomplete? Feeling of something losing, and yet he cannot control or get back. How can we triumph over that feeling in real life?
Well...
This is from Nikki.
Nikki
does not listen to the show because she clearly does not realize that we don't answer serious questions.
Yeah, but I'm just worried whether she means complete manner isn't physically. Because I have been, snipped as a child.
No, she did say that, take 10 seconds to think about this question because she's a fan of the show. And
Naveen, can you answer this question? Because I forgot the question.
When you feel empty and incomplete in life, what do you do?
Crippled inside like John Lennon in the song.
I cry.
I cry normal.
Yeah.
Normal life makes me cry.
Yeah.
Crippled inside is much worse. So empty feelings is difficult to deal with. But see, I live in a joint family with lots of people.
Right.
I don't get enough private time. So for me, unlike say Amit Doshi, who's basically like a single man living alone, or to some extent you, Naveen, our entire dynamics are different. For me, there's so much noise happening and people demanding things. Now I have to go to the airport and pick up my daughter from some trip, blah, blah, blah. There's no end to it. You can't feel empty. You just feel used, degraded, violated, and humiliated. But not so much empty. Empty won't happen. In India, there's just too many of us. How do we feel empty and lonely? It just can't happen. There's just too many of us all over the place.
No, but I think there's a more philosophical approach to this because
Correct my answer. Thank you. Go ahead.
we all feel that. I don't know.
2 blue ticks for you.
So I think this is more from the mental approach or point of view.
But we get asked this. You'll be asked this as well. Upcoming comedian. We ask you why you always happy. How you so funny. Do you ever feel sad? I'm sure you've been asked this already.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel low? Are you ever not funny? Don't you get these questions?
All the time.
And I'm like, did you see the act? I mean, like, what the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're at a party, like, the most common thing is, tell us a joke.
Tell us a joke, yeah.
Or why are you so low, what happened? And then, like, I can't tell you why I'm low because if I tell you, like, anything about my life that is serious...
Also, you're gay, so what do you mean by low? Behave yourself.
They're like, get down.
Stop it. You don't have to gild the lily like that. Yeah.
You can start the...
I throw it away and then you want to go and do an opera on it.
That's how you do...
Then we'll become vulgar and they'll start saying, what kind of stuff do we say on the show? You just throw it away.
But yeah, the
wait, now you have to make a sexist joke on women.
You have to make it.
We have to equalize the whole thing. I'm going to make a lesbian joke or a hetero joke. What do we got? Okay, quickly. Empty inside.
Yeah.
What do you... I mean, you're a comedian. You're supposed to be funny and happy all the time. What is your answer?
So I look at going on stage as a form of therapy. I feel when I tell people about my problems and I'm just myself.
But that's the therapy which makes you happy.
Yeah.
Reverse that and tell us when you're unhappy.
So when I'm unhappy, I drink alone. I just like go to my very shady favorite bar. And
really?
Yeah.
That's a very odd sign. Not too many people drink alone, Amit Doshi.
Yeah.
I drink alone.
Or drink alone publicly. Drinking alone at home or drink is different. Drinking alone publicly is very... It's a...
Yeah, in a bar, I just...
It's a sign of alcoholism, firstly.
No, I don't have alcoholism.
It's a matter of time. Amit, what do you think?
It's a little unusual.
It is unusual.
I don't know that many people who... Again, like you said, I know a lot of people who drink by themselves like that, but go out and drink by yourself is a little unusual. But actually, I think that's probably... I don't know if that's a sign of alcoholism. It might be just a sign of like, hey, I'd rather do it in pub. I'd rather do it out and about rather than hide and do it in this.
And this research is across the board that people who drink alone are more susceptible to alcoholism than people who drink socially.
That is true.
Because their challenge is that they need to drink with people.
Yep.
And it's always these two dynamics together. Yep. But in your case, drinking alone is a sign that you can. And then it's if things go wrong.
But
if you perform at Baidas, for example, when nobody speaks English, you'll be in big trouble. And then you'll be drinking alone for hours.
No, so the point is that again, I'm trying to say that I'll go drinking alone on days when I don't have shows, and I try to get on stage as much as possible.
No, but what she's saying, very quickly, we can't do this forever. Emptiness, as a comedian, as a funny guy, do you have any formula to deal with the lonely, empty feeling sometimes which happens?
No, there's nothing to do. You just have to deal with it. You just have to live with that reality.
Yeah, everybody has these feelings, right? It's life. You deal with them, right?
You fill your life with good people in general, but then sometimes they're not there for you. So you have to deal with that fact that you.
Do you have a pet frog or something? Maybe.
Me? Huh? I have toads.
Oops. Moving on.
Okay. Last question. I find it fascinating that the urban English-speaking Indian is so well informed about American politics and current affairs. What's your hilarious take on why that's the case? This is from Arpish.
See, we are a voyeuristic country. Here's my take. Voyeuristic country, we like to watch. If you look at India from a perspective of outside, you put a camera on the street. Everybody wants to watch what's happening. I've been in London where people turn and look, but nobody stops the entire day to watch a film being shot in a park. They stop for a second and they move on.
Right.
But here, the guy will stay from 9 to 6, more than the actor. The actor leaves. But the people watching, they watch. They won't stop.
Right.
And if you see a fight on the street in India, everybody turns to watch. Yes. Now, we have that horrific story in Delhi of young Saxena. I think his name is Ankit. Ankit Saxena, Hindu boy, Muslim girl, and her family comes and slits his throat. 8:30 last Thursday, of the time of this recording. 8:30 in West Delhi on a busy road. 25 people passed him and took pictures of him dying on the road there with his mother holding his neck. Not one person called the police or the ambulance. You tell me, voyeuristic, that's what we're all about. So that's why we like American politics. We like to look at everything else. We're lookers and we absorb because we're intelligent people. We absorb everything, but we don't like to be. We have a problem with being. And it's like a classic Hamlet case. We don't want to be. We want to unbe. We want to watch, but we can watch forever with no judgment. The guy's dying on the road. I mean, I couldn't believe that story. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
the guy's dying. His mother's crying, holding his head in her lap. Nothing. Yeah. After all those Hindi films, nothing. Not one person called the police or the ambulance. I mean, really.
No, that's insane. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's a callousness, right? I mean, it's just straight up callousness.
And it's got to do with the voyeurism where we don't participate.
Yeah,
we sort of watch, but we will watch
We have
everything.
this separation from us and what's going on in the world. But
That's the word, separation.
But I don't know if that is... while that is a nasty part of Indian ethos. I don't know if that is necessarily why we are so into American stuff. I think that's just because American culture dominates English language.
There's a bit of a complexes there where grass is green on the other side, on the Gora side, if I mean.
I don't even think it's that. It's like the best movies in English come out from America. The best television stuff comes out from America. CNN is dominant in terms of news channels. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's more of
Right. But it's the Indian mind which likes to absorb everything and not participate, which allows us to take in everything. We're like the human Google.
Right.
See, let's face it. There's no other culture on this earth who knows so much about other cultures. But the English-speaking urban Indian knows about everybody. No, we'll have some idea about Chinese culture, something about Western European culture, Eastern European culture, Greece, Macedonia. I mean, the works. But you go to, say, a Greek guy in Athens with the same background as us, submarket background. How much does he know about India? How much does he know about China? How much does he know about Japan? How much? America maybe a little bit because they really propagate their culture very well. Let's face it.
No, they do. They do a great job. I mean, like propaganda, Hollywood propaganda is actually like a national
sports. They're forcing us to look at basketball and NFL as serious sport. Which Amit, Doshi, me and Naveen don't even think of as serious sport.
I think Naveen thinks of basketball pretty seriously.
Really? You like basketball?
He gets a paycheck.
Now I do.
He gets a paycheck from basketball.
He gave me a paycheck.
You Mandila baited him. You forced him to like the game. Okay, got it.
But cool. That's all we got.
I think that's all we got. Naveen is back with a brand new show called Coming Out Soon. You got to go check it out. It's in Bandra this weekend at Ghostana and the Cuckoo Club. Saturday Ghostana, Sunday Cuckoo Club. It's called Coming Out Soon. You better go there soon so you can find out what he looks like in tights. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Millions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.